A couple of big issues. I think ethical and responsible use of AI is right up there, and I think the piece that's been missed is bring your own AI is now a phenomenon. So if we don't think every single employee in the company is using generative AI on their smartphone, we're living in the past. So that is a real issue. And what amazes me is I talk to organizations and I ask them, well, what policies have you in place? And they've none, right? Zero, absolutely zero. I mean, simple things like you cannot put customer information into a large language model, or something like that. You can't put sensitive information. So zero information. And there was a piece out there at the weekend, and it basically said ChatGTP is the number one unauthorized app that is being secretly used by employees throughout the world. Right? So these tools are available to everyone, and I think that's the amazing thing. On one level, like the diffusion is just unbelievable, but it creates a huge challenge. And if organizations don't set the tone and don't make clear what needs to happen or how it should be done, you're only looking for problems. I think the big problem that I also see at board level is the regulatory uncertainty. So yes, we have an EU AI Act coming down the tracks. We also have acts coming around from different parts of the world, but what they're unclear about is, well, what acts actually apply today? So you take something like data, well, GDPR is there. So there's no point in talking about, well, when the AI Act comes, you already are subject to regulation. And I think there's a bit of uncertainty there. And there's also uncertainty. You were talking about the small print there, Ingrid. So if I'm going to put something into market, so I'm an open AI, so, oh yeah, well, that regulation applies to them. But actually, if I'm just going to put it into service and use it internally, I actually may be caught by the same regulation. And organizations don't understand that. So I think they're grappling a little bit around, okay, well, what are the rules? Because we all need certainty. If we're going to run businesses, we need certainty in terms of what rules are we playing by. And then the last piece, look, I totally agree with you in terms of, are we ready for the cultural transformation that's going to be required? I'm not sure we are. I think people are looking at this and say, oh yeah, it's there, that's nice, it's coming or whatever. But are they really transforming their mindset and set to change the culture? Question. Yeah, look, I think we're at an interesting potential inflection point. And you're right, AI has been around for longer than I have, and I wasn't born yesterday. And there's loads of variations of AI. But I think what is interesting, and why I say inflection point, is that Bill Gates talked about the graphical user interface being a revolution, and generative AI being the next one. I think what's really interesting is that typically in an organization, about 12% of the team or the employees are technical people, so coders, programmers, whatnot. If we roll forward and the programming language of the future is the spoken language, in theory, every single person in your organization now is able to engage with IT and do things. And the question then is, how do we harness that? Because we're not looking to displace people, but we are looking to augment them so that they can bring more value to the organization, do better things for their customers. And if we think about, well, how do we use these things? Because if we take something like a call center, typically viewed as a cost center, right, where you get loads of data that probably tells you nothing. Imagine if your generative AI is able to say, well, actually, here's why people are calling us. Here's what's important to them. Here's how they feel about the organization. Here's how they feel when they're finished that call. Now, suddenly, your call center becomes the pulse of the organization. So I think what we need to do is sort of look at, okay, let's worry about shadow IT another day, but let's look at how do we harness this in a way that augments our people to create new insights, create new value, and actually, create better outcomes for everyone, including our employees. Any business that uses data needs to rethink its business model fast. And I think it's incumbent on every single one of us to rethink our own jobs too. Because, if AI can do, more than 50% of your job, you need a new job. If it can do less than 50%, you need to change your job. And I think we need to take this opportunity to sort of say, well, what's unique about our skills, and what is it we want to build that is human centric, and then how is the technology going to support that? But I would say, look, if it's a bit like the digital transformation. If you're trying to hold on to the old ways, you will be left behind. So if you're in a data business, AI is coming, and it's coming fast. And if you don't embrace AI, someone who does will replace you.